What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review. Today, I'm continuing my journey of discovering some classic rock and roll music. That's pretty much how I can sum it up. This is my second review that I'm doing about this band. The first album that I heard was pretty good, so I wanted to continue that journey and see what else they had in the chamber. So today, I'm going to be reviewing Rush 2112. One funny thing before I forget, it's just pretty funny to me being a kid of hip hop, is that these albums are technically under Def Jam Island Records now. So, that's kind of funny that this Rush album is imprinted under something that it's under umbrella of a hip hop label. That was just funny to me. This album came out in 1976. This is Rush's fourth album. I read that they were going through a lot of financial things at the time. The album before this one I haven't heard didn't do as well, and this one, from what I'm hearing, it's considered a classic. A lot of the rankings and things that I saw had this one right under Moving Picture, so I had to check it out. I had to see what the fuss was about. I just had to I had to know. It's only 6 records on here, but they did something so incredible with the first record, the title track, that I don't think I ever seen or heard something like that before. For those who know the album already know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to get into this review, if that's all right with you. 2112 is a 20-minute song. Like, you got to understand, this is my first time listening to it, so it just allowed me to kind of fan out a bit. Not fan out, but just allow me to take this in for the first time. So it's a 20-minute record. That's the title track, and it's a story that is so, I wouldn't even say complex. I do wonder how did the youth and adults around the time that this album actually came out in the 70s, and whenever you heard it up until this point, how did you feel? Like, because we didn't have so many outlets to understand things like now. Like, I could go to Genius, I could find so many reviews, I could find so many write-up pieces and interviews of Rush talking about the song and the album. But back then, what did you guys think when you cut on the vinyl and it's just one song, but it's 20 minutes, and it's different variations of the song. It's not just like one long song that's the same sound. It's different production things and different storytelling and just the story in it. So I wonder how it was perceived in the moment, like in the 70s, 80s. You know what I mean? Before we were awarded so much information to look up things. But the song itself, I thought it was great. What I enjoyed most about the intro title track, what I enjoyed most about it was that it takes some balls to to start your album like that, especially coming off an album that wasn't received well and you're kind of in the hole financially. To start the album, the first side of your album is just a 20-minute song describing a story. I thought it was funny that like music didn't exist in the time. Like, it was kind of a passe. It was things of the ancestors who they thought didn't make it, and the reasons why were things like the guitar and things of that nature. But I thought it was dope that was even in there. Like, nah, we don't need music made with those kind of things, or music in general. And then like realizing that the people that you thought that you were taught that passed away were still alive the whole time, and more in a spiritual kind of way. These are the tools that killed the ancestors, but yet the ancestor was so smart and equipped that they chose their own path and decided to come back to rid the world of evil. Pretty much, that's what I got from it. I could be like reaching so much with that story, but that's the cool part that I thought was dope. And the fact that they just had ambition to make a 20-minute song on the whole first half of the album is just, I never seen anything like that in my life. So that took me by surprise when I first cut it on immediately. Immediately, because essentially when I first put the album on, I didn't do a lot of research that I did after. So when I put the album on, I was like, oh man, that's a cool record. That's a cool song. Oh, that's some cool lyrics. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, I was only 10 minutes in on the same song. So I thought that was amazing. That's the whole first side. You flip to side two, and I read, and it feels like this as well, that side B was a little bit more. It sounded a little bit more fun. It was a little bit more. Well, it was a lot more. Digestible. It was that classic rock feel for the remainder of the records. I love A Passage to Bangkok. It just starts tough. Like, it starts hard. Like, and then it throws in a dun 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 playing on the guitar. I thought that was so amazing and so dope that they just threw that in there. And the song itself, it just sounds like some rock star ish. Like, it sounds like kicking in the door kind of stuff. Like, I envisioned them obviously on tour and finding all the fun spots, finding all the great drugs, finding all this stuff, like just that tour life. It just sounds like a great song. It's a perfect song to put in a montage of like a biopic of a rock star, like when they're in their like prime, like when when they do the montage of, oh shit, you can't get any bigger where you are, and you tearing down shit, you're kicking down the doors, you're getting the women, you're getting the drugs. Like, this song reminds me of that. So I enjoyed that immediately. And it sounds like another intro. It sounds like that could have been the beginning of the album to me. You go into Twilight Zone. And it goes like dun 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 dun. And they were paying homage to the Twilight Zone show. I guess it's obviously not my era, but the Twilight Zone was a huge show. And they were just paying homage in two verses. There's describing two stories from two different episodes. So I thought that was dope. That's very artistic. Like, we don't get stuff like that no more. Just the random inspiration. Everything is so now like straightforward that, to me, I'm going on a rant real fast. To me, today's music, a lot of it is just so straightforward that it doesn't leave a lot of room for imagination. And with that, I also think that the listener now doesn't take experimental or just experimental music as our predecessors did. We just want it the way that, if it's a love song, make it a love song. If it's like, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of storytelling. Songs like this remind me of how great and how fun music was back then. Like, they're on an album that could have, after a flop, that could have like destroyed them, I would assume, as a band, as a product. And they got, the first song was a 20-minute record. They got the Bangkok record. They got a song dedicated to the Twilight Zone in here. It's, the percussions on Twilight has that great groove to it. And then you have like this, it does these beat switches, and then once you have a rhythm that you think is gonna go, electric guitar comes in. Like, it's so amazing. You have Lessons, where it's the song reflecting on your adolescence, and I didn't mean to rhyme adolescence with lessons, but you're reflecting on your adolescent years and how your parents used to punish you, and they were doing these things for the betterment of you. But at the time, it seems harsh. It seems like, I want to go outside. I want to do this. I want to, you know what I mean? So when you get older, you realize the things that your parents taught you that you probably didn't agree with as a kid, but now that you're older, you're like, I understand now. And Lessons is that record. Tears is probably my favorite song on the album. It's a totally different vibe from everything else that's on here, and I love the lyrics for one. I love the production, and I love just that whole vibe of it. Like, the way that, I love the vocal production as well. I love the way that the vocals are sung, and it just stood out to me immediately from everything else I heard. And it, like I said, it's probably my favorite record. Well, it is my favorite record on the whole album. The percussions on Twilight has that great groove to it. And then you have like this, it does these beat switches, and then once you have a rhythm that you think is gonna go, electric guitar comes in. Like, it's so amazing. To end it with something for nothing, I thought was dope. It was a great send off for the record. It wasn't too much. I love the drums on that record, and it kind of followed the same. Now that I'm looking at it, it did kind of follow the same vibe as Tears, just from a musical standpoint. But I thought it was a great way to close the album. And yeah, 6 songs. That's all I could do. Let me get into my best songs. Shit, I usually do 3 when I do my best songs, but since it's only 6 records, I'm just only gonna pick one, and I'm gonna pick Tears, just because it felt different from everything else that I heard on here. It it caught me immediately, like emotionally. Worst song, it may be Lessons. I'm gonna go with Lessons. Best line, a really short line. He says, "A lifetime of question, tears on your cheek. I tasted the answers and my body was weak. For you, the truth." And that line just stood out to me. Obviously, it's from my favorite record on here. So, as far as a rating, fucks given, I'll give it a 3.54 out of 5. I'm not gonna say I like it more than Moving Pictures, but it was a good body of work. Now let's wrap this up. In closing, when it comes to Rush 2112, I enjoyed the album. The only negative thing I would say about it, going back to it, I probably would skip the title track. Not that it's bad or anything, but it kind of, at a certain point, it kind of gets too much. Just now in 2021, it's like I can't listen to a 20-minute song, even with the breaking up of the sections. So that the thing that I congratulate them for taking a risk is also a thing that kind of, like, it's a give and take, a negative positive kind of thing. I did think it was good. I did think they sounded great as a band. I thought the production was good. I thought the storytelling was good, from the first song, from 2112 to Twilight Zone to Bangkok to Tears, even telling a story about your adolescence and lessons. Like, it was all, I think every song served a purpose. When you do 6, you gotta pretty much come correct. I want to continue this Rush journey. Let me know in the comments what's the next album I should listen to or review. Also, let me know what's your favorite songs on here. It's only 6, I know. And also let me know if you were around in the time period. Let me know, how did you feel about the title track being so long? And that's like unprecedented. We never even seen that. Or maybe it's just me. You can let me know if another band or artist have done something like that. I know Led has long. I know Led may have did it. Pink Floyd may have. But let me know in the comments. As always, though, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.